The sky was burning. The clouds red with twisted fire. Lightning moving across them. And they descended upon everything. Like a furious battle between God and Satan, good and evil. Like a fire vortex.
What's up, y'all? This is another great day of SEO we have for you today, and it is a surprise doubleheader. Yes, we did kind of announce that we would have one match, the locals at Timbers Army, but then the second match just came in a little bit later. Los Verdes versus DC Defiance is going to be played out tonight, and we will be getting to that after we are done with the locals versus Timbers Army. But before we go too far, this is the only Mazar. And with me in the commentary booth, yes, I am not alone, is El Matador's very own, Luis. Luis, how you doing, my man?
What's going on, Mads? Super excited to be here. We have upper bracket action tonight. The locals versus Timbers Army, like you mentioned. Big game. And then also after this game, or during the middle, depending on when this series ends, we do have another game with Los Verdes versus EC Blue. So, or is it EC Defiance Blue? I forgot, sorry. But yeah, super excited for tonight. And let's get it going.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Luis mentioned something very important, so it's fair that we bring it up right now. The locals versus Timbers Army will kick off in about 5 minutes. 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern, basically the start of the next hour. Los Verdes versus EC Defiance, however, is going to start in the next half past the hours. So 8:30 Pacific or 11:30 Eastern. And because the first match, Locals versus Timbers Army, is a best of 7, given that it's a playoff match, we unfortunately will be overlapping Los Verdes versus EC Defiance, unless the Locals at Timbers Army have a super quick sweep either side. So we're going to be focusing on Locals versus Timbers Army, and then when that's done, we will be jumping into Los Verdes versus EC Defiance. Luis, it's going to be a bit busy for us, but I hope we can get this sorted out. How much are you looking forward to both of these matches here?
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to the playoff game that we have tonight versus TA and the locals. This is a game that I've been waiting for. Obviously, for me personally, this will be the next opponent for us. But also for the rest of the league, this is a very important game because the winner of this game is guaranteed top 3 in the Season 8 SGL I guess league. So again, a very important game tonight, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, and I think now is a very good time for us to take a look at the bracket for the playoffs. So we're going to start from the left, do a quick recap. As you can see, in winners round 1, we had the Rebellion and El Matador kick us off. El Matador swept Rebellion convincingly, and then we had a banger of a match, possibly the match of the season, and I'm talking the regular season included in this as well. Timbers Army coming back from 3-1 down to beat Black Army 4-3. I mean, if you guys watched the Golden State Warriors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, it was kind of similar to that. But freaking Timbers Army stepped up, and they basically, like, overcame such a huge hurdle. And their story has been so awesome to follow. Luis, I know you have been so excited to watch them play, especially tonight. How much of a chance do you think they'll have against the locals here?
Listen, Timbers Army's in great form. They had, again, like you said, an upset win. I think some would say in terms of seeding in that first round matchup. They're on a hot streak. The locals, on the other hand, had a bit of a rough end of their season. So this game, conventional wisdom just kind of tells you the locals were probably going to dominate here, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than I think that conventional, just, the 2 seed playing the 6 seed would tell you.
Oh, big time. I mean, we've already had that convention broken when number 6 Timbers Army came back to beat number 3 Black Army. So anything can go. That's how awesome these playoffs have been so far. And to cover the rest of the bracket, El Matador beat Emerald City RC in the winners round 2 match that was played out, I believe, was it yesterday or Monday? Monday, yeah. And that was a convincing 4-1 win from El Matador. They're through to the winners final, and they will be joined by one of the locals or Timbers Army. As for the losers bracket, you have Emerald City RC versus Black Army set to go. A rematch of the MLS playoffs, some might say, where the Seattle Sounders came back. It's not came back. They overcame a better Black Army on paper and beat them to go to the next round. And this is a similar story right here. Black Army have been looking hot. They've been looking good. Except, Emerald City RC is probably a better team. And some might say they're the favorites, but, never say never. And finally, we have the last matchup to be decided, which is the Rebellion versus the loser of the locals and Timbers Army. And that's it for the bracket right here. Luis, give us a quick mention of how your own bracket prediction went and how you think this whole thing's going to go from here.
Yeah, so my bracket is completely busted. As Rydog has been giving me shit for, I predicted Timbers Army to not even win a single series in the playoffs. They undoubtedly proved me wrong, so my predictions are not worth much, Maz. But listen, if I had to just go off of today, I'm still going to go with the locals, so I'm still going to be hating on the Timbers Army, so I do apologize. But honestly, I think this could go either way. Depending on, and I think the key factor for this game is just going to be if Mecky Ducky can dominate the game, and if he does, then I think the locals will win comfortably. But if not, maybe this Timbers Army team can have a Cinderella run into making top 3 of SGL.
Dude, and you know what? They would most definitely deserve it. They have been so good this whole playoffs, and even recently, they've been showing signs of how good a team they are, beating the Cauldron in week 9, I believe, to get to this point, and they had to beat them to have control of their own destiny. So, not gonna lie, I'm really looking forward to this matchup today. But it's not just that, Luis. We also have a second matchup between Los Verdes and Emerald City Defiance, and that is for our Consolation Tournament. Now, the Consolation Tournament does not have a playoff knockout format. It's slightly different, so we're going to show you what we mean. So, as you can see right here, chat, we have a round-robin group stage where all the teams in the Consolation Tournament, these are the teams that have not qualified for the playoffs, are, playing in this tournament against each other to see who is basically the best of the rest. The way this works is each team will play against every other team once in a best-of-5 match, and the top 2 will go into the grand final, which will be a best-of-7, and winner takes all right there. Now, Luis, we have a battle of the bottom 2. Both of these teams lost. How important is it for them to get that first W here and have a chance of making it into the top 2?
Yeah, obviously winning is better than losing, and both of these teams did lose that first game, so a win would be massive for them. For me, I think they're probably 2 of the 3 teams I think most people would expect to not make that top 2, but you never know. These off-season or post-season tournaments, rather, for those who didn't make playoffs, this could be a time to kind of show some stuff that they didn't really show during the regular season. And yeah, I think if I had to do a little mini prediction, I will say I think I'm probably gonna go with Los Verdes, as they were the favorites not only in the regular season, but I think that was the only win they got all season against ECV. So yeah, important to get the win. And yeah, if they want any chance of making top 2, they really need to win the game.
You know, it's interesting you say that because since then, since that first match of the season, Los Verdes have kind of been going downhill and Emerald City Defiance are on the up. So I feel like this might be a much closer match. I think Emerald City Defiance is going to get the win tonight in like 4 or so matches, maybe 5, hopefully. But I could see Emerald City Defiance getting the win here. Los Verdes need their best 3. They need their best 3 to stand a chance. If they don't have their best 3, then in all honesty, I don't know if they are strong favorites over here. Now, folks, we don't want to just talk about those 2 teams. We have the KC Cauldron, who still have to play a match. They will be playing in round 2, though. Round 1, they got a bye, basically. They had no match then. Emerald City Blue and Steel Army, though, are at the top 2. And speaking of Steel Army, Devin, I see you're in the chat. And, you know, tell us what your prospects are for this consolation tournament.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought we were playing hide and seek here. Way to reveal my location here.
Hey,
also,
you
hi,
outed
everybody.
yourself. I was asking you in the chat. Hey.
You,
Well, yeah.
you got me there. You got me there. You got me exposed. But yeah, no, this should be a good time. I honestly like playing KC Cauldron for as much as we don't have good results against them. They force us to play in a style that we're not as, you know, like confident going up against. But I hope it brings out like the best of us. I think that's whenever we play our best, not whenever we're the more dominant team on paper, but rather when we're up against that style of competition.
Absolutely. And, you know, I want to know Luis's thoughts as well. But do you consider yourself one of the favorites, or at least the favorite here?
I mean, if you're asking for my opinion, I still think KC Cauldron are going to be the favorites to win this consolation tournament, just given the overall skill, and I think for them, just kind of missing the playoffs, being the defending champions, this is kind of a good way to kind of get some consolation silverware, if you can put it in that way. But yeah, I think Steel Army, EC Blue are going to be kind of battling for that second place finish. If you had to ask for my opinion, I think both of those teams, EC Blue and Steel Army, are going to be, yeah, I'm excited for that game, whenever that game does happen. Or have y'all already played? I forgot who Steel Army is.
We have played Defiance so far.
You guys play Defiance, okay, yeah. But whenever that EC Blue Steel Army game is, that's going to be, like, for me, probably the decider for who's going to be in the championship game against the Cauldron.
I would be inclined to agree as well. I feel like the matchup between Steel Army and Emerald City Blue will be the absolute decider here of who's going to end up taking on KC in that best of 7 grand finals for that consolation tournament. It could be a bloodbath over there just to see who gets second in this thing.
And speaking of what's going to be a bloodbath, I think both teams are in the lobby debit. And honestly, the main show, the reason why people are here, is for this upper bracket. Basically, winner gets top 3, and I'm excited, Debbie. This is going to be a tremendous series. I'm ready to get the ball rolling.
I'm ready to get the show on the road, too. And yeah, get those predictions in. Let's get it going. It is Locals versus Timbers Army. West Coast clash. Number 6 seed looking to continue the hot momentum they've built up here in the end of the season. And here we go off of kickoff. Immediately, just to start looking to fill each other out, but maybe Timbers Army have an opportunity going forward. Nothing yet, but now it's the Locals' turn.
Yeah, and Deba, I know you did hop into commentary just a little bit late, but we were talking about just the momentum that Timbers Army has right now. They are the Cinderella team at the moment. They beat the 3 seed in a crazy series. How do you see them in this series?
Oh gosh, for Timbers, I mean, if we saw the predictions, I don't know if those were shown. This is actually the matchup I predicted, and this is a matchup that I still am confident that this is going to be Timbers Army to take. I don't know what that scoreline is going to be, but riding the confidence momentum, I am a big believer in that. And seeing what Rydog and Co have gone through, I think they're built for the W over here against the locals. It might be a little bit of a defensive showdown here for the locals. They're going to have to lock in and get that quick transition play going out as they nearly get it through Meki Ducky. Not quite going yet. They're going to have to cover their backs over here for the time being.
I'm really liking how Timbers Army started this game, Deb. But as we see a shot on goal, and Nelly opens up the scoring. A little bit of a misplay from Dr. Aquatic, but take nothing away from the shot from Nelly. Nelly puts Timbers Army on the board, Devitt, and here we go. The Cinderella team is out in front.
Yep, it's exactly the start they wanted to see. Get a couple defensive stands against the locals here early, and then get that opportunity to strike while the iron's hot just off of a missed play. Meki Ducky is going to have to, you know, play potentially a bit conservatively for the time being, because some of these outplays here from the locals are not looking that solid, and they're like right for the taking here for Timbers Army.
Yeah, and I will say there have been some pretty nervous touches coming out of the locals, something that you don't really expect from them. They've had a tremendous season. They were, what, 1 or 2 points away from being the #1 seed this season, and so far, this is kind of a... They seem a little bit shell-shocked as we see an awkward ball. Rydog with a tremendous save as Meki Ducky was bearing down on him. But yeah, so far I'm really liking TA's start.
Good start for TA, and they get, as you mentioned, absolutely incredible save here from Rydog, covering the bases. Oh, nearly an opportunity. Meki Ducky just puts it wide. The locals are now starting to find their form, though. They sort of, you know, let this first game go halfway through, filling out Timbers Army, and I think they still do have a lot of opportunity to make these like such an interesting game, because Timbers Army have even had some touches here that I'm not the most fond of, and now they're getting the physical play handed to them.
Yeah, and I do want to highlight Rydog and Nelly, probably one of the most underrated duos we have in SGL. I think there's a lot of other duos that get mentioned first. That's Nelly with a tremendous save, although he wasn't credited with a save there. It sort of looked like a save to me, Devitt. But yeah, Rydog and Nelly were tremendous in that series against Black Army. And again, take nothing away from Piglet, but one of the most underrated duos. And so far, they're really putting on a good performance against the favored seed.
Absolutely, and I think it's going to come down to Nelly's creativity over here in the midfield, and especially Rydog getting the ball through. Rydog is no stranger to playing aggressive, you know, playing the physical side, doing whatever he takes to get a pass down. He's going to be the one that's going to be carrying this team as best as he can, pushing the play forward. And to say that, oh, that's a great save here from Doughboy. Great shot here from Piglet. The attack continues here for Timbers Army. As we mentioned here, for Timbers Army, this duo of Rydog and Nelly, they're going to be, you know, driving the play here for Timbers Army. They're going to be the ones setting up Piglet for the opportunities to, you know, slam it home after the offense has already run through one time. That's going to be, you know, the go-to move here for this Timbers Army team that just can't seem to stop losing right now.
Yeah, and just over a minute left. Timbers Army holding on to this 1-0 lead. Rydog in a 1v1, just have low boost though. Goes for the 50, and almost 50s it into the net. Great save by Meki Ducky, rocking the Dominus instead of the Batmobile, so I'm a little bit disappointed in that. But yeah, so far, pretty defensive game, Devitt. Like you mentioned, you kind of predicted that. That's kind of what happens in these first games in the playoffs. All the nerves, all the adrenaline. It's typically pretty low scoring. And right now, if you're the locals, you do need a goal. And right now, honestly, Devitt, I don't know where it's going to come from.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's going to potentially come out of these plays here from Meki Ducky. It's a good move one way, getting it past another. I think that's going to be these opportunities here for the locals. It's going to be a lot of Meki Ducky sort of drawing two players out here from Timbers Army, and he might have to draw out both Rydog and Nelly in order to get these opportunities, and then force Piglet into making potentially a bad move across, and then having Dr. Aquatic or Doughboy come in for the finisher. But 2 seconds left. Piglet go for an aerial, nearly gets it by Meki Ducky. Nothing going there. The ball just has to hit the floor, and Timbers Army will take game one over here. But Meki Ducky's got 100 boost. That's a great challenge here from Nelly. Looking for a shot, nothing there. Timbers Army still take the W here in game number one.
Wow, tremendous game from Timbers Army there. They could have scored on multiple occasions, and I do want to highlight that last-second stand. Becky Ducky was one-on-one in on net, and there was a tremendous save out of the back for Timbers Army. And if you look at the stats, Timbers Army, the majority of the shots, only 2 saves accredited to Timbers Army in that game. And so, honestly, that's about the best case start that I think if you're Timbers Army you could have asked for, Debit. I mean, they really, really had the game under control.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like we said that like Piglet could potentially be like that third person coming in. They're still providing 3 shots of offense out there. They're still getting these points out here, causing the locals to make these bad touches. You're looking at a player like shutting down Dr. Aquatic, who couldn't stop scoring goals for the locals after Mecky Ducky made the initial plays out. Doughboy hasn't been as like heavy an influence on the physical side yet. So maybe this could be like that game 1 fever that you had mentioned out, feeling each other out, playing a bit more defensive. But if you're Timbers Army, you keep up this pressure and you shut down Mecky Ducky from getting an outplay, because this game plan you're rocking right now could be the move just for this entire series.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see in this game too, what are the adjustments from both teams. And if you're the locals, your last game of the season, you got swept by Black Army. You've lost this initial game here, so kind of interested to see if they have a bit of bounce back, a bit of steel about them. As again, their form coming into this series, Deb, it hasn't been the locals that we saw all throughout the season, and so this is going to be a very important game, not only for the series in terms of the scoreline, but just to kind of get the mental back, get a win under your belt. As we see Nelly with a backflip and a good save from Piglet. But yeah, this is as much of a mental game for the locals as it is just getting that win on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the test here for the locals. Can they force Timbers Army to, get out of their comfort zone? Because right now we're starting off Timbers Army going a little haywire on some of these touches, not getting the best of opportunities, getting the backflips, but literally I cannot stop watching this team score just when you think they could be playing poor.
Yeah, tremendous bump. This is all about the bump here from Piglet, leading the attack, the fullback in front of the running back there. Great play from Piglet. Again, that third guy, not talked about for his mechanical skill, but he adds so much to this team. And Nelly, a great finish. And again, a fantastic start for Timbers Army. The locals, again, they haven't scored yet in this series. They really need a goal here, because it feels like right now it's just all TA.
Yep, and they're certainly, keeping a good defensive stand as best they can, but it just seems like it's like a rotating cast of players that go in and out right now. There's no driving force. I saw something a little bit from Mecky Ducky, waiting Rydog's touch out in the midfield, which is good. You want to draw Timbers Army out from their comfort area, because that's what they wanted to do initially. You wanted to wait out their touch. But now the locals just find themselves on the back heel yet again, having 2 players in net. This is something you want to see if you're the locals now, seeing Mecky Ducky get over 1. Potential for more, but these opportunities, Timbers Army are just not giving. Oh, no, hang on. Yep, go for it.
Yeah, you were mentioning about opportunities, and KJ Doughboy hits a shot. I think it was going in. Nelly decides, hey, I'll put it in there for you. A little more miles per hour there with, I think, 80. That's a pretty fast ball. But yeah, that's a big goal, Debit, for the locals. They really needed a ball to go in the back of the net, given the start that they had, as we almost see a pinch down the other end. But big goal for the confidence of the locals.
And that's what you need here, because you got shut out in game number 1. Not to say your confidence will be shaken after a game 1 loss where you don't score at all, but you need something to just sort of, that you're still in the game. You're not just getting absolutely, shut down. This is how you can definitely force Timbers Army into these bad options, into, essentially own goaling or forcing the ball quicker into the net than it normally would have gone. But for now, for Timbers Army, it's how do you respond. And honestly, we've seen 2 opportunities that are, just flying right by. They're right back in like nothing happened right now.
Yeah, Timbers Army's had a couple of chances here with some really good centered balls, just didn't have that second man to finish it off, and some really good chances. And again, against a team like the locals, if you're not taking your chances, you could be conceding, and they almost did concede there, but the break is the other way for Timbers Army. Rydog with a shot. Meki Ducky should be there, and he is there, but back and forth, both teams trading blows here. It's going to come down to who has a little bit more steel, who has a little bit more ice, who can finish these chances, because there's been some quality chances on both ends.
Yep, and we've definitely had some of those not so quality chances. Oh man, oh, that's almost an own goal here. Locals struggling a bit at the moment. As you saw, Locals definitely had that opportunity back down there, but the slow ball ended up getting out of the way of Meki Ducky, and the triple commit pinch here from Timbers Army getting them out of trouble. They gotta defend their net right now. It's a good shot down. Nelly will get the save over there, but it's these outplays that the Locals are starting to covering themselves a lot better on now. They're not forced to make these saves that end up getting brought back right to Timbers Army. They're actually, starting to basically take a little bit more possession with it. Doughboy is getting the right touches. They're honestly just a couple touches away from getting another goal here. And if you're Timbers Army, do you adjust the game plan slightly a bit, or do you just keep hammering it away?
Well, I think so far the game plan is working relatively well. As you see, a whip there, and KJ with his second goal of the game, massive goal for the Locals. They take the lead with a little under a minute to go, and just to kind of double commit there on the backline, Debit frees up the space for KJ, and KJ puts his team in front.
So apparently maybe it is wait out Timbers Army's mistakes, and then you can get past them. It's an excellent play set by Doe. Oh my gosh, pull shot! Let's go, that's how you do it. Nelly may not get the credit, Rydog does, but you gotta put a little bit of, emphasis here on Nelly bumping Aquatic into an own goal.
That's one of those plays in Rocket League where you're actually happy to not get the demo, and it resulted in a fantastic pull shot, like you mentioned. A tremendous response, I think, in only 3 seconds. And so if you're Timbers Army, man, that's about the best case scenario, and Rydog is going to add to that. Man, I think they scored, 2 goals in like 10 seconds? What a response from Timbers Army.
And I know you probably saw it just briefly as Rydog was coming off of that. He kept driving down, but as soon as the goal explosion went off, he's got controller down right now. The comms have got to be absolutely emphatic right now. They're probably wondering how the heck has this game gone our way after simply just 10 seconds of, doing kickoffs at this point. And for Timbers Army, that's what you got to do. And they get a crucial save here from Rydog with 35 seconds left here to go. Maybe they get an opportunity for a fourth, but this Timbers Army defense really playing the winner here as they get a transition goal. Nelly putting it away and potentially the game.
Man, Rydog single-handedly almost winning this game for Timbers Army. A tremendous save on the goal line at one end. He beats a defender, puts the ball mid. Nelly puts his team up 2 goals, and what a turnaround from being down 2-1 for Timbers Army, man. The vibes have got to be really great. And then if you're the Locals here, you need a quick goal, and if not, I think that game 3 is going to be massive for the mental. Might need to take a mini timeout, talk about it, what's gone wrong here, what are we doing differently than what we have been in the regular season. And here we go. This has to be a goal for the Locals if they want to get back into it. A little wide from Meki Ducky. Dr. Aquatic trying to put this ball mid, but right now the time is not the friend of the Locals, and Timbers Army are going to take a 2-0 lead in this, honestly, Cinderella run so far for them.
Gosh darn, they can't keep getting away with this, can they? Like, we've seen this team sort of make these errors, back and forth, basically letting so many things bad happen to them, double commits, you name it. But this team just doesn't give up. I swear there's just nothing that kills these vibes whatsoever. I've got to, we know we've got a taste of that from their comms that we've seen in that Game 7 video against Black Army. But you got to wonder, they just got to have so much belief if they're pulling out games like this. And if you're the Locals, I feel like you got to call the timeout.
Yeah, again, this is the perfect time to do it. I always prefer in a best-of-7 series, Deb, whether it's RLCS or whatnot, I always prefer to call the timeout. Not when you're on match point. Give yourself a little bit of breathing room to talk things over. So I think at 2-0 down, that's a pretty good time to call a timeout or to just kind of rethink the game plan, reset the mental, maybe go use the restroom or whatever it may be. But Yeah, TA, they're flying, and we keep mentioning the Cinderella run, or at least I do, and that might be a little disrespectful given the way they're playing. They're playing tremendous Rocket League, and again, although they are the sixth seed and barely made it in ahead of the KC Cauldron into the playoffs, they are really playing really good Rocket League right now.
Yep, it's sort of the Timbers Army that we're accustomed to seeing. We got a little taste of it, last playoff or for the Cup bracket for Season 7. So I say that we are in the middle of a timeout. Locals choosing to exercise that option just to take that breather. But yeah, as you mentioned, Timbers Army, it's one thing to say the sixth seed, but honestly, when looking at this field of teams, it's hard to say that there's like a Cinderella run out of any of these teams that we got here at this point. Timbers Army is just as good as like going up against a 1 or 2 seed at this point. We've seen the 5 seed, you, move into winners finals already. We could be looking at the 6th team, and we got to start redefining Cinderella or just start cutting it out at that point. I think I may have to agree with you there.
Yeah, again, we mentioned it in the broadcast, in previous broadcasts, that these top 6 teams are really deserving of that top 6 placement. And here we go, Game 3, Debit. This is basically a must-win game for the locals.
It's absolutely must win. We've seen teams go down 3-0 after being down the timeout, but it seems like Mecky Ducky back in the Batmobile. That's an immediate start here for the locals, something that you want to see if you're a fan.
Yeah, back in the Batmobile and back in the goals for Mecky Ducky. A bit of a team bump there from Timbers Army really opened up the space for him that I don't think he would have had otherwise. But again, great start from the locals. And yeah, I am glad to kind of see Mecky Ducky back on the car that we've seen him all throughout this season, and that just kind of gets you back into your comfortable place for what is, I think, undoubtedly the best player in the series coming into this. So, great start for the locals.
Great start indeed, and I honestly noticed even in the kickoff, Mecky Ducky just back in his element. Oh, it's a great demo there from Nelly, but the defense is there for the locals, covering for their fallen comrade in a time of need, covering for defense, keeping that 1-0 lead. And for the locals, it kind of looks like a new breath of fresh air over here. Doughboy is getting the physical play out. Mecky Ducky may be playing third, but honestly, that's fine if you're the locals. Because if you're at that point, that's just an offensive opportunity. Not gone quite your way, but you're ready to cover defense in times of need.
Yeah, big 50 back there from Rydog. Bit of an awkward spot for him. Dr. Aquatic mid and Rydog, a great save from him. That was surely a goal for the locals, and I think it's important here for your TA to not let this get out of hand. As we do know, the locals, they have the capabilities to put 3, 4, 5 on you. As we do see KJ again with another great save. So good response so far from TA, and I think the locals, obviously this is the best they've looked so far in this series, which isn't saying too much considering the quality that we do know they possess. But yeah, so far really liking the way that the locals are starting this Game 3.
Yeah, and they're a little bit boost-star for the moment, something they need to clear out, but Dr. Aquatic is given that opportunity. Mecky Ducky going for the physical play, looking for the third, maybe a shot, nothing going over there. So the locals maybe wanting to play things a little safe right now, not wanting to make any mistakes, because they know what's going to happen if they basically commit too hard over here. We've seen Timbers Army make these plays whenever there's just one thing out of place. That's something you don't want to see if you're a locals fan. You want to make sure that they're able to cover their bases, not do anything too crazy, but if they have the opportunity, then you go take it.
Yeah, big whiff from KJ. Ooh. The ball's just on the goal line, Debit. This should be a goal, and it is. Nelly converts on what was just a wild play at the back there for the locals. Gotta see it again. Mecky Ducky into his own post. A bit of a misplay just out of everybody on the locals there, and Nelly converting on the misplay. That's a massive goal for the TA, not only for the scoreline, but man, in Rocket League, when you concede a goal like that, that's like a mental killer there. So yeah, great goal, and wow, it's anybody's game now.
That's so tough because you're just trying to get the ball cleared down too. You end up almost putting in your own net because Piglet was basically about to tap it in. You do as best you can, but just when you have to let go and reset from here. As the locals looking to restart. They have the pressure going right now. Mecky Ducky looking for the ceiling hit. Nothing going over there. Rydog hits it right back to Doughboy. This is an opportunity here for the locals, but it's missed. Dr. Aquatic puts it wide. A beautiful chance here for the locals. Timbers Army have a chance to reset.
Yeah, big chance there, and I think one player I do want to highlight, as we do have 2 minutes left in this game 3. I think Piglet's been great, Debit. So far, he's been tremendous. Some really good touches, some really good team play. The bumps we mentioned on one of the previous goals in the series, but I think Piglet's been tremendous to accompany this really impressive duo of Nelly and Rydog. Did you see Nelly almost capitalizes? Mecky Ducky, great save, and Debit. Oh my goodness, that was almost 2-1 for TA.
That was such a calculated play because I switched over to Piglet's POV just as we're starting to highlight Piglet over here. They got the touchdown. We're literally going for that bump on Mecky Ducky, just not quite doing it over there. As the defense is able to cover, just like Timbers Army defense, able to cover one, but not the second opportunity here from Doughboy. That's an excellent 50 down, and the locals have the lead again.
Yeah, great play from Mecky Ducky. A bit of a double tap to himself off the defender. KJ in the right spot at the right time, and I do believe, I think Doughboy's got 3 goals in the series or something along those lines. He's been tremendous in the offensive half for the locals, and let's see if the locals can ice this up. Remember, they had the lead in game 2, and they kind of squandered that pretty remarkably. So let's see if they can play a little bit more defense, Debit, and walk away with this game 3.
Yeah, if you're the locals, it's due time. There's no more, forcing anything to go wrong here for Timbers Army. It is, how can we cover our bases as they nearly get scored on over here by a shot from Rydog. Just goes past over here. But now Timbers Army, nothing's changed. They're going right back to it. They're basically sending the house like they usually do. If they get the touch, awesome. But for the locals, they're just going for the opportunities whenever they have them. They're not forcing anything. Mecky Ducky's playing slow, looking for these out passes over here. Nothing going. A missed opportunity here from Piglet. 10 seconds left. Timbers Army, can they get that last-ditch opportunity and force OT?
It has to be now for Timbers Army. Mecky Ducky causing havoc, and the ball is still up. It is in the wrong end of the field if you are TA, but, speak of that, well, it's not on the wrong end now. This is a really good chance for TA. Can they do it on 0 seconds? The ball's still up.
Oh, surely. Oh, wait, that opportunity to stay up, it's actually still going. Rydog's able to get the touch. Nelly's on the chase, but Mecky Ducky has the easy tap down saying, enough of this. It's time for us to take that game and make this series just a little bit more interesting over here. More than it already has. It's already been a thriller, and now we've got at least guaranteed game 5.
Yeah, and again, that's a must-win game for the locals, and they got it. That's a tremendous response from them. But honestly, I still like the way that TA is playing, and if you're the locals, I think one thing that you learn from this game, Debit, is that Mecky Ducky has to play in the Batmobile. There's no other car. That is his car, and he needs to be playing in it if the locals want a chance at going top 3 in this SGL season. And honestly, I would think, Debit, that this game is going to be massive for the mental for the locals. This is the first game win, and I think 5 in their previous 5, so they got to win under the belt again. It feels good to win, so I'm looking forward to them bringing it back in game 4 with the momentum that they do have now. And honestly, Debit, I could really see this series going all the way.
I actually can as well. I mean, in the series of the season we've seen so far, I've marked down 2 series of the season so far, and both of them had Timbers Army of them going the distance in KC, to basically give themselves a really good opportunity at playoffs here in the first place. And now against Black Army, given that an overtime that we did, seeing those comms, that was just, that overtook it as series of the season. We could be potentially looking at another, depending on how this series is going. It's kind of projected to at least probably go 6, I think. Well, we just gotta wait and see how that one plays out.
Yeah, and here we go, game 4, guys. This is honestly, and if you're TA here, not the end of the world losing that game 3, but you definitely don't want to lose 2 in a row and just cede all of the momentum to the locals. And these series are all about momentum. For those of y'all who've played Rocket League, and you kind of know this, a lot of these things are heavily momentum based. As we do see a massive clear downfield, and Piglet's in here, good 50. Any follow-ups from Timbers Army? Negative,
Oh, no.
but this ball's just in the net. I don't know. Doughboy scores, and that's what Doughboy's been doing all series. 1-0, the locals.
Yeah, a goal you don't see too often, sneaking through the three-man weave, especially that two-man right there, looking like those kickoff goals that somehow sneak by your teammates, and you're going, how the heck did this get in? And placement, I always say, Nelly can't turn in time, Rydog's going, what the heck? This is by me now. This is in my net. What am I supposed to do? Nothing but watch. The locals are up, looking to cause a lot of havoc here in game number 4. Make this a best of 3. They started off well so far, but Timbers Army, we mentioned it before, they honestly have no quit in them whatsoever. They just go back to their game plan. It's going to be the same thing, but the locals, they're looking a lot more comfortable these games now.
They are indeed, and that's kind of one of the worries if you're TA. The locals, they are a team, and if you let them get going, they can really put a bunch of goals in a very short amount of time. And so right now, TA's got to regroup and kind of figure out what's going on in terms of the game plan, because right now I think the locals they're in full control here.
Full control at the moment. Forced to get these saves on these Timbers Army shots that aren't as threatening as they used to be in games past. But the opportunities are still here for Timbers Army. They just need to do a little bit extra work. They thrive in this chaos of these series. And that's something that they're going to need to keep doing as they go through this series with the locals, who are forming their own little bit of chaos right now. As Doughboy is looking for another out pass. Piglet whiff on that one, maybe a pass opportunity. Just as we've seen time and time again, the locals not able to put away. Timbers Army get the clear out because there's somebody always in place for that. But right now we have another opportunity. Good flick here by Rydog. Good tap out by Doughboy. Piglet's up for a shot, maybe a double. Gets the rotate, but not able to get the shot down. Timbers Army still looking for that first. Piglet
not known for his mechanics, but my goodness, that was almost a tremendous aerial play from Piglet. As we see TA, they're pressing here. They're giving it all their all to find a equalizing goal here. And yeah, again, I do want to praise Piglet. He's been tremendous. Not only all season, but I think in this game 4, he's been tremendous. As we do have a bit of an overlay issue. I do apologize for that, chat. But Nelly almost there with the equalizer. But Debbie, yeah, I'm enjoying how both teams are just giving it. No one's really sitting back. They're both wanting to get that next goal. So yeah, loving it.
Yep, and they know what's at stake over here. Guaranteed top 3 and not having to go through the absolute gauntlet that is the lower bracket. I mean, Timbers Army have lived it. The locals have seen it from a distance. I know they don't want to go back down and face Black Army, who, actually not Black Army, they ended up playing Rebellion over here. They don't want to go through that gauntlet. It's just easier to chill out on the winner side. That's the good spot. Even if you do got to face an El Matador team that is, mechanical as they are, you just want to give that safety net as best you can. Just want to highlight a little bit. Chat, you're seeing on the stream that we do have a consolation bracket game on the side here. We've got Los Verdes first EC Defiance here to your right, just above the boost overlay here. Just for a little bit of extra viewing action for you, we have officially got SGL Red Zone.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a NFL Red Zone SGL edition going on here on stream, but yeah, obviously all of my attention here is on the playoff game and the bigger picture. And Nelly dribbling here, Dr. Aquatic with a fantastic 50, and Piglet, you would have really liked that to be on net, Deb, but that was a tremendous play from Nelly, and again, as we see Nelly there. Oh, Piglet with a tremendous demo, and if that shot was on target, Deb, this game's all tied up.
I've seen so many opportunities from Timbers Army just barely go wide. They're so close in so many instances, but they're just not getting the ball on target. And whenever they are, it's these simple shots that go right to, Mecky Ducky as the goalie or Dr. Aquatic. We have 2 seconds left. Maybe a miracle, but it's not looking good here for Timbers Army. There's one ball out by Piglet. That's easy for Doughboy to smack down. Chat, it's best of 3 now.
It's best of three indeed, Devin. And man, we said it could go all the way. This had the potential, and I think we're on course for at least getting a game six, obviously. But I could really see this going to game seven. But on your screen now, folks, we do have that before mentioned consolation tournament match between the Austin FC group and Los Verdes and the Seattle Sounders group and Emerald City Defiance. And I think Parks is on the board for ECD, and they currently lead 2-0.
Yep, good start over here. Los Verdes, who are currently powerless here in this matchup, but able to have Devin here, another one of those mechanical players. Maybe an opportunity here for Los Verdes. We don't get to see powerless Verdes often, so this will be a good test to see, where the team's at currently. Get some more players that opportunity to team with each other. But if you're ECD, you're taking that previous game where you started showing the physical play against Steel Army. This is your opportunity to show off, hey, we're not just that last place team anymore. We can take it to these other teams.
Yeah, and I think if ECD do end up getting this done, I believe it'll be their first win of all season. So let's hope for their sake they can get it done. But Bust Insider 6996 on the board, and yeah, so we're gonna have that on the side of the screen there for you guys. For everybody's viewing enjoyment. But here we go, Game 5 of the battle for top 3. Winner gets top 3 in FGL this season. It is a best of 3 series. Devin, I'm cheering for a Game 7. Obviously, both fans of both of these teams are not wanting a Game 7, but I'm so here for a Game 7.
I'm so here for a Game 7 too. I think Timbers Army are low-key here for a Game 7 too. I think they just thrive in the chaos, whatever they sow, they're willing to roll with it. As we see a good save out here from Nelly, starting off strong. Another opportunity we saw briefly was one from Rydog that had the opportunity, to be that early goal that Timbers Army are looking to get back in the series with. Nothing going over here. They're trying to set each other up, but Timbers Army look a little bit out of sorts compared to what we've seen here before. Oh my gosh, what a save.
A tremendous save for what was going to be a sure goal for the locals. And yeah, so far, I mean, I have to agree. I think it's just a complete role reversal of what games 1 and 2 were, where it just seemed like TA was just 100% comfortable. But the roles, again, have been reversed, and Rydog, a chance there in the middle of the net. Another tremendous goal line save out of the locals, and it's back and forth. Both fighters here really trading punches, and this first goal, Deb, it's going to be very, very important.
Yeah, and usually we've seen teams try to play a little bit carefully, not wanting to make the first mistake, especially in a best of 3 at this point, because this is the double match point at that point. But no, these teams are just no, we have to get on the front foot immediately, no matter the cost. We'll make the mistakes, we'll end up whiffing a bit. Maybe we'll just end up getting a light touch that goes nowhere. It doesn't matter. We just need to have control of the game, so we're going to do whatever it takes to, keep the ball in front of our cars.
Yeah, and as we say that, Dr. Aquatic is in on it, and what a save. Tremendous save to keep the game level, and we've seen, in Game 5 alone, we've seen at least 3 or 4 tremendous goal line stands from either team, and yeah, it's really going to take something special to beat either of these teams the way they're playing defense. And one thing I am noticing, Debbie, we are seeing a lot of kind of goalie camping out of both teams. I think this kind of highlights the nerves that go into a playoff series like this in Game 5, and what is a very important game. And so it's going to be the team that exposes that weakness that probably breaks through here for the first goal.
Yeah, we're going to need to see these team plays come out here. Timbers Army is really starting to show that off right now. They're looking for the infield pass more than anything. They're probably going to look down for some of these drop downs that they can pass to a teammate instead. Because as you mentioned, the locals are, preparing for this attack. They've covered all their bases so far, and they have the opportunity. Oh, Mecky Ducky nearly forcing an own goal out of Rydog, looking for the demo. Nothing going right now. Rydog forced to make a 50 in the mid. Nelly looking to start an opportunity. Gets the flip over one, doesn't actually take the ball. Rydog looking to at least keep the press going, get his teammates some boost or something like that. But right now, it might just be chaos in the midfield trying to sort each other out again.
Yeah, there's been a lot of chaos so far in this game, and Dr. Aquatic off the crossbar. That was almost a tremendous redirect, and the ball is still here. This surely is going to be a goal for the locals, and man, TA survived somehow, Debit. Dr. Aquatic, man, if that would have gone in, that would have been a tremendous redirect, but the game remains level.
Dude, everybody's throwing everything against the wall right now. You got defenders going up for balls that, are not even being contested right now. You got passes that are looking to potentially extend the play, going offense over here. Defenders going crazy over here, pushing it to their corners, making the proper saves. It is just an absolute defensive battle right now. Nothing is breaking through these teams, no matter how good these opportunities are. Timbers Army may have had some of the better opportunities. The locals having the most clear cut, just off the crossbar, nearly getting that last goal. Dr. Aquatic being one of those catalysts here for the locals. Maybe an opportunity here for Doughboy. Nothing going over here. 35 seconds left. Gosh darn. Who's gonna break this? Are we gonna need OT?
Yeah, and OT might be what we need,
no.
but it's just
No.
straight in. It just is, but it's just straight in. Piglet from his own 10-yard line just booms the ball, and it's 1-0 to Timbers Army. 24 seconds left. Honestly, Debit, that was just it didn't feel like a goal could come from that position, but here we are, 1-0 Timbers Army.
We had been talking so much about how we needed these special passing plays, something creative to get by these defenses. No, it's just a pass from the locals that Piglet can just fire down the other end when nobody's back playing third in that direction. This is a 1-0 game. The locals have an opportunity to make this an overtime. Dr. Aquatic looking for the shot, doesn't get it. Rydog puts it down. Chat, it's double match point here for Timbers Army.
And the 6th seed in game number 5 gets it done. They are on double match point now. And wow, that tremendous game out of Piglet for Timbers Army. And honestly, I didn't think the locals played that bad in that game, Debit, but tremendous game 5 there. And man, in these playoff series, Debit, you really do see the nervy games and these 1-0s and these defensive masterclass type of games or what playoffs are all about.
Yep, it's exactly these kind of situations that we live for. It's the fact that both teams are playing so well, and then it can just all come crashing down in an absolute moment's notice. Everything could just die, all your momentum that you could have built up, all the hype, all to all these boring goals, as we see Trigga, level up here for Los Verdes here in this game. But now, it's shifted back to the locals. Timbers Army still have a timeout. They're at double match point. They could use this to potentially lead them into game 7. But if you're Timbers, you're thriving on the chaos. You want to keep going. It's time to finish this out here in Neo Tokyo as we get started here for game number 6.
The all-important game number 6. Really, Debit, I've really enjoyed this series. So whichever way it goes, whoever ends up winning, kudos to them. It's been tremendous so far.
Pretty sure we have nearly all of chat except for Timbers Army fans rooting here for a game 7. I'm used to seeing game 7s out of this Timbers Army team, so I'm kind of expecting it at this point. But they're looking to, have that not be the case. The locals, good defensive stand at the moment, forcing Mecky Ducky into these bumpy situations and getting another ball over them. But right now, Timbers Army look in control here to start off game number 6.
Yeah, I do think we have the wrong game on stream right now, so I do apologize, or at least I can't see the game, so I do apologize, Chad, as we transition back over to the game here. And it's still 0-0. Good. Sorry, I'm watching on Discord chat, so we're still 0-0 here on Neo Tokyo, my favorite RLCS map. Good to see it. Yeah, 4 minutes to go. You didn't really miss much, I don't think, Deb, but did we miss anything?
Nope, it's still a little bit of a feeler out. Timbers Army had an opportunity. Good save, good stand there by the locals, but we're back to the craziness that was that game 5. Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth with each other. Nobody's going to be making those mistakes. But we switched back at the right time. Timbers Army get on the board here through Nelly.
And again, Piglet, tremendous pass mid. Nelly in the right place at the right time. And man, the raining the raining that's happening on Neo Tokyo is happening in that net for Nelly. And wow, tremendous start for Timbers Army. Are the locals gonna go down to the lower bracket? What a run this would be for TA, Debit.
I know we said not a Cinderella run, but you know, the way they play, it almost feels like it sometimes. This could be that, you know, ovation series so far here for Timbers Army, showing, you know, the league that, you know, that was just a bad few weeks here in the regular season. That we were just letting you get a little bit of a head start while, you know, we were revving up. We were waiting for the end of the season. Rydog may be in busy season whenever it comes to accounting, but his season for Rocket League, they're locked in.
Yeah, Rydog's been locked in, Piglet's been locked in, Nelly's been locked in. On the other side of the ball, I really love to see Meki Ducky get more involved here, be the leader that we know he can be the MVP type player that we know he is. Maybe some more aerial plays, see if we can do a little bit more solo plays out of him. Try to cause some havoc for what is a pretty comfortable TA defense so far in this game number 6, as we see Piglet on a breakaway. Good intercept by Dr. Aquatic. But yeah, Deb, I kind of want to see the locals here. You're down to 2.5 minutes of your upper bracket live. I'd like to see a little bit of a different play to their current strategy.
Yeah, it's gonna take something, you know, creative, something different. I think Timbers Army have caused so much chaos already to, you know, make Meki Ducky make sort of these normal plays. We're used to Meki Ducky taking basically a 1v3 against some of these teams, but right now we're forced to see, you know, taking it to the midfield, and there's a Timbers Army player maybe not making one hit, but the next one's already there and making the best hit possible in order to keep the possession going here for Timbers Army. Right now you could be looking more to Dr. Aquatic or Doughboy to get that touch out there. Even through a double commit, it worked. Pass off the backboard, but Rydog's there to cover.
Rydog, as always, is there to cover.
Oh.
What a passing play. This has to be a goal for TA, and it is. Tremendous passing play out of TA. Piglet again with the assist on a tremendous pass to Nelly. The same combination for the first goal is the same combination for the second goal. In TA, they've got a 2-0 lead here in Game 6.
2-0 lead. You're feeling really good right now. Minute and a half. Rydog even letting the ball go in a net. Really confident that his two teammates were going to cover that. No need to go over there. Dr. Aquatic with the top opportunity. Ends up hitting it too high. Nothing going here for the locals. Looking for a pass out. But that's an excellent 50 here from Rydog. Getting that pinch off of Doughboy. Maybe an opportunity here for Timbers Army. They go up the wall. Dr. Aquatic has beaten 2 people. This is what you want to see if you're the locals right now. Now force the issue. Meki Ducky, good pass outward, but Doughboy is just a bit too slow right there. They're already looking at the outplay. Rydog, good opportunity. Excellent save by the locals. This is what you want to see now from the locals. Get these opportunities, but they're just a little bit too late now.
Yeah, and Piglet, a great save there. A couple shots from Meki Ducky off target. You really expect him to be hitting the target there. As we see last-ditch defending here for TA, this would be a massive result for Timbers Army if they can hold on and beat the number 2 seed coming into the HDL playoffs. Piglet with a shot, 30 seconds left. And if you're the locals, you need to go right now or your upper bracket hopes are gone.
You have 30 seconds left. It's balls to the wall now. You have no more defense left. Get the boost that you need to go. Go. Dr. Aquatic, excellent. Get out of 2. Unfortunately, Piglet is just that guy right now. You can't get by him. The locals are fighting for their lives right now, but they're out of time. Timbers Army, they're gonna do it. It's 6 seconds left. This is a tap-in. Rydog finishes this game off, and they're going to winners finals.
Timbers Army, ladies and gentlemen, are a top 3 minimum team in SGL Season 8. I don't think anybody would have seen this coming. Congratulations to them. The early GGs coming out of Rydog, a bit of BM there, but wow, tremendous series from Timbers Army, and they take it 4-2 over the second place team coming into the SGL playoffs.
Oh, I can't even say at this point that you could have any doubts about this Timbers Army team right now. Maybe doubts against their next opponent in El Matador, potentially at what they could go up against. But you cannot doubt the dog that is in this team. They don't just got a Rydog. Every one of them has to be praised for this performance. They have officially shown that they deserve this playoff spot. They deserved it ahead of KC. They deserved it ahead of Steel Army, over EC Blue, everybody that had doubts on this team. They're guaranteed top 3.
Yeah, I honestly, and Chad, I appreciate everyone being here. And listen, if you're the locals, we know they can play a lot better than what they showed in this game. I don't want to take anything away from Timbers Army, so the locals will be in the lower bracket now. And wow, it's quite remarkable, Debit, just to kind of see the run that TA has gone on. I believe it was either you or Maz in y'all's bracket. You guys did have them going into this position. I forgot which one of you it was, but
it was
TA
me.
Dream, hey, then you knew something that a lot of us didn't, and man, TA is really showing out, and what a tremendous series. We didn't get the game 7, but I think overall, Debit, I really enjoyed what was a thrilling 6-game series.
I think Timbers Army just know how to put on a show, and I think we're gonna get that same type of show next time that we see these, players come into the lobby. That's just Timbers Army's MO.
Yeah, indeed, and I think there's one thing about them is that they had a rough start to the season, Debit. Timbers Army did. I think Rydog will be the first person to tell you that, but as the season went on, they really found their form, and so far in these first 2 playoff series, they've been tremendous. So congratulations to them. They will move on, like we said, to game 3, to the top 3 match versus El Matador in the upper bracket. Winner of that going to our grand finals, and wow, that was tremendous. I do hope we do get interviews from both teams following the conclusion of the game that you guys currently see on y'all's screen, Los Verdes versus ECD. Los Verdes managing to get a win without Palace, which I think is tremendous for them. That's as somebody who's been watching Los Verdes for a while, Debit, you too, it's good to see them get a win without their talisman player in Palace.
Yeah, I think this is a good sign here. If you're LV, you can look at your roster and go, all right, we're looking around. Palace who? We can still cover these series. They're pulling out the wins through the father-son duo of Devin and Bustin' Cider 6996. Even against this Defiance squad, who seems like they got a little bit of new life into them. They're still able to pull off these wins. Nearly an opportunity. Oh no, that's unfortunate here if you're EC Defiance.
Yeah, a bit of an own goal there. We've all been there, done that. If you've played Rocket League long enough, that's something that happens on a quite regular basis, I'd say. But yeah, really liking the way that Los Verdes is playing here without their talisman. Good to see Devin. Devin, one of the underrated players this season, Debit in SGL. I think he's been tremendous. So really like to see him on the field, playing with his dad, Bustin' Cider 6996. Always like to see any familial duos. As we see, Nose equalizes the game there. As I was looking at Twitch chat, so I do apologize. I did miss it there. But oh yeah, tremendous aerial from Nose. And it's 1-1.
Incredible stuff here. EC Defiance getting it right back. Yeah, that's what you want to see out of this team. You just want to see that fight left in them. Because honestly, I do see a lot of improvement here from this team. Oh, gosh darn, that was very close. Here for a goal, but it ends up being a goal anywhere. Parks getting it off the rebound, and EC Defiance are looking really good here now off of that, tragic own goal, that participation.
Yeah, Parks getting in on the action, 2-1 to EC Defiance. And then, yeah, we mentioned a little bit earlier in the broadcast, but EC Defiance, this would be a tremendous result for them if they can end up getting the series victory, Debit, because I don't think they've won a game at all, or a series, excuse me, at all this season. So this would be a tremendous confidence boost for them going on in this consolation tournament. So for EC Defiance's sake, hopefully for their fans and for their players, they can walk away with their first series win.
Yeah, that would be incredible. Good for their confidence too. A little bit of an unlucky draw, getting a Steel Army in that round 1. It's a team that they, wanted to showcase something new off, and they did really well. We see Trega get the next goal here. Back and forth here, fair here now. But yeah, if you're EC Defiance, you just got to be able to stay in these games. Cover your bases. This defense, whenever they get caught out, it's looking a little rough here for EC Defiance. But that's these opportunities that LV are taking really well.
Yeah, good response from LV after going down 2-1, and knows here going in on net. Unfortunate the crossbar with the awkward physics there puts the ball a little bit wide for him, but yeah, good response. It's always good to get those early goals back once you concede. Kind of just keeps the vibes up and kind of it just allows you to brush it off and say, hey guys, that was a fluke. We can go next here. We see Devin in the Gentlemates bubblegum car, one of my favorite decals out of all the esports decals. Especially the Fennec one. The Fennec one's tremendous. So love seeing him rock that.
One of the best decals and certainly inspiring some confidence here as Devin has already got a goal and assist. He's got every bit of category over here. That should be a good confidence booster. And already they're combining there with Triga, causing a little bit of mayhem over here in the midfield. Does opt to go for that one, leaving that one for Green Mario. And I wonder what Green Mario's real name is. Maybe we'll find out one day.
Maybe it would be hilarious if it was Luigi. That would be fantastic given his name. But Green Mario right on cue scores again for EC Defiance. EC Defiance up 3-2 here, and what a tremendous play, to be honest, from him. The bouncer ball upper 90, and yeah, a minute left for ECD to go up 2-1 in the series.
Yeah, this is critical here for them. They're showing that they, you know, they're not gonna back down at this point. They're literally have like they're playing like they have nothing to lose at this point. Because you saw like even in some league matches, some teams were, you know, getting a little antsy, getting a little nervy, not wanting to make the mistakes and potentially put them down. Gosh, Gaster's Curse, EC Defiance. Talk about the good stuff going there. Los Verdes answer right back. They just can't stop the madness going over here.
Yeah, I was going to say commentator's curse strikes again. Devin, with his best Itachi impression, puts the ball on the net. 3-3 with 40 seconds to go here as we see a ridiculous pinch-off kickoff. Good control from Green Mario, though. Love the control. And what car is that? I can't quite tell, Deb, but I don't typically see that car on the field. I like to shout out the cars we don't see. So good to see Green Mario rocking. I think a lot of these players rocking cars that we usually don't see, but 20 seconds left here. Green Mario a pass mid. Parks can't quite get their debit, and yeah, it looks like this game is destined maybe for a second OT in a row.
Potentially, as you mentioned with Green Mario, I believe that is the Lamborghini. I'm gonna need chat to help me with that. Thank you, Maz. Really appreciate that one there. A lot of good opportunities for good decals there. Maybe for the winner. Oh my gosh, Parks slams it home. It doesn't hit the ground. No OT here. Easy Defiance have a 2-1 series lead.
Destined for OT. Parks says no thank you. I will use the commentator's curse to put the ball in the back of the net. Easy Defiance go up 2-1 in the series, and they're 2 games away from winning their first series in Season 8. What a tremendous shot from Parks there with the ice. Those last second goals, even though they look maybe easy, you need a little bit of ice, and there Parks showed it in a tremendous fashion. And wow, very good end of the game there for ECD.
Well, let's not make it too complicated. We still are in best of 5 territory. Sorry for the switch up on you, everybody, but yeah, we moved from best of
5.
Yeah.
I do apologize. My bad.
Yeah, we're in best of 5 territory, so ECD only need one more this time in order to get that first series win of Season 8 over here. And that's got to be a lot of confidence here going into game number 4 for Los Verdes. You know, this is your proving ground. This is you going, we don't need that Palace guy. He's not our team. Devin, we got a lot of help over here. Doesn't even matter if Triga and Bust Insider have the same score over here. They've got the quality to do it. It's a back and forth affair. We're just waiting for that one team to sort of end up taking that advantage here in the end. Who's going to come out on top? Because it seems like these teams are just destined for overtime every game at this point.
Yeah, and it was you mentioned back and forth affair, and it just seemed like when one team scored, the other one came right back down the other end and put the ball in the back of the net. So tremendous series so far we're having in this consolation game between Los Verdes and EC Defiance. And just to remind you, chat, we will be having hopefully some interviews from both of these games after this series finishes. But here we go. EC Defiance on match point and potentially clinching their first series of the season.
It would be very exciting to see. This team is, been in the trenches together, doing whatever they can to get these results. It would be really good to see him pull out a result over here. We say that LV have a good opportunity early on. Bust Insider getting that early opportunity. Saved off the line, doing really well. LV have an opportunity to counter. That's a good 50 here by Devin. But Green Mario is able to clear the lines for now. And now you're noticing here in this game number 4, what are we looking for LV at this point? Is there a particular player that you're looking at to sort of, drive home this, change, get that game 4, force that game 5?
Yeah, obviously for LV, I think Devin's kind of the highlight player in terms of the mechanics, but honestly, Trigga has been phenomenal. Ever since he joined LV mid-season, I've really liked his addition. I think he's added a little bit more quality to the side, and so far, I think he's been playing pretty well these first 3 games of this series. So let's look for Trigga. They see Green Mario honestly had a really good chance there, Debit, to open up the scoring. But yeah, to answer your initial question, let's go with Trigga to find a way to break through this ECD backline.
I like that shout a lot because for LV, it's going to be a lot of not wanting to stay, trapped in their defensive half. We saw 2 people playing, some goalie ball over here. They're going to need these opportunities, clear out pretty well. Not having Devin force out a touch that goes way too wide, giving EC Defiance the ball yet again. And Trigga could be that opportunity player. They're getting just a bit too heavy of touches right now, but LV are not currently facing too many consequences for these at the moment.
Yeah, so far they're not really facing any consequences for it, as we do see Green Mario up in the air with a ridiculous aerial from a ridiculous angle. The Lamborghini using every inch of that car debit to put in a tremendous center ball, and it's 1-0 to ECD.
Good heavens, did Green Mario have a protractor? What kind of angle is this over here? That's actually incredible placement here from Green Mario. That's a 1-0 lead here for ECD here in game number 4.
Yeah, and Green Mario has really been the man of the hour for this ECD team so far in this series. As we see a ball hopelessly just into the net, Parks from who knows where. He just 50s a ball, I believe, and it pinches off very nicely for him, and it's bar down, and right now ECD are rolling.
And if you're LV, that is just the unluckiest thing that could have happened right there. Trigga trying to just, keep the pressure on, maybe get a 50 that forces up to the ceiling. Ends up going right into your net. Devin able to clear it off the line. Excellent save. Leaves an opportunity here for EC Defiance, for Verdes specifically. Getting the pass off the backboard, which could work out pretty well. Devin trying to take control of the game here for LV. Maybe able to get a 50. Doesn't end up getting one. Park's able to clear the lines for now. And LV are already trapped again.
We've played half of the game, Debit. Been very comfortable for ECD so far. Apart from 1 or 2 Devin chances, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from ECD. They seem, again, really nothing's bothering them in their defensive half. And here we go, Parks again on the offensive half. Great 50. But yeah, I think right now they're comfortable, and I really see them scoring the third before LV scores their first.
I think I'd have to agree with you here, because Devin try as he must. This team effort here from ECD is just something different. They're playing the right 50s over here. They're putting the ball into these pressure situations where LV are, quite frankly, having a lot of trouble clearing their lines. Maybe be able to get an opportunity over here. Devin ends up popping the ball, but it's just another clear out, easy for ECD. They're leading a transition. There's already 2 players looking to get back here for LV, but these opportunities for ECD are just way too plentiful in order for LV to make a comfortable counterattack.
Yeah, less than 90 seconds to go here. Birdnana on net, into the back of the net. That's 3. That's going to be ECD's first series win of SGL Season 8 wrapped up there. A good shot, and just a bit of a deflection. I believe it was Devin, I think, hits it into his own net. But the ball was goalward, so that's going to count for his goal. And right now, we mentioned they were more likely to score the third than to concede their first. And man, that was tremendously done from ECD.
Yeah, that's tragic there, because if you're Trigga, you're probably like, oh yeah, he probably may be able to get there, but I'm going to cover just in case. That's tragic if you're Devin. Oh, nearly an opportunity here for ECD. They just got to tap it in. Bust Insider ends up putting it up. Oh, but it's too far out of reach. LV are running out of time here. if you're LV, you're trying as best you can right now, but I think ECD are just in the driver's seat at this point. There's not much you can do at this point. You're gonna try for these opportunities off the sidewall, but ECD are just prepared for everything you got going right now.
Yeah, 40 seconds left, and right now the ball's on the wrong end of the field if you're Los Verdes, and Nana keeping up the pressure. And yeah, this is a tremendous series clinching game from ECD. And oh, Bustin' Cider is gonna make it a little bit interesting here, Devitt. There's 25 seconds left, and Bustin' Cider 6-9-9-6 puts the ball in the back of the net for LV.
Yeah, absolutely critical goal here for a player that you don't quite expect to get on the goal column too much. Usually you see that out of Devin, but goes here for Bustin' Cider. If there's anything we've seen out of Timber's Army series, that it is possible, but I am leaning slightly toward it not happening, given what I've seen off the kickoff. This one's open right now. Flick over one. Good pass here from Bird Nana. Green Mario with easy put away. That is game, set, and match. ECD are going to get that first dub of the season.
Yeah, tremendous flick from Bird Nana there. Green Mario finishes it off. And honestly, this is a tremendous series from ECD. Congratulations to them. They will be taking all of the points in what is a very, very important game for a team who has aspirations for that top 2 spot in the consolation tournament.
Yeah, if you're Steel Army or EC Blue at this point, you're probably breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief right now. Just knowing that there's a little bit of chaos down there so far with the 0-1 team of EC Defiance getting that dub over Los Verdes, creating a little bit of breathing room over here. It still puts a lot of pressure on the series that you have against each other, no doubt. But things are looking a little bit more solid for some of these top 3 teams here in this consolation bracket.
Yeah, and again, congratulations on the first series win for ECD. And who knows, this might be a catalyst for gaining some momentum, gaining some confidence. It's always good to get a W under your belt. And so for those 3 players, for that team, this could be a catalyst for in some future games during the tournament in which they're not favored to win. They can play a little bit more carefree with a little bit more confidence. And who knows, maybe catch one of the quote-unquote better teams off guard here in the future weeks.
Yep, and I think that's ECD's goal just the entire time, just to show everybody we're not the wooden spoon. We just didn't get on the right foot in these matches. Because honestly, after playing them last week, or even just like on Sunday, they have it in them. I've seen it. That physical play scared us. And it's something that you have to watch out. And if you're LV at this point, it's something that you really can't shake your head at, to be honest. Because we wanted to see what this team would be like without Palace. And this is, sort of like a good, not like middle ground, but just like a good testing ground. What kind of combos your team can throw out. I'd say your players are still really solid overall, but I think we are seeing, confirm that strongest lineup here for LV. Maybe not here today, but they'll definitely get more opportunities.
Yeah, it was really interesting to watch Los Verdes without their talisman and Palace. And again, they won 1 game, so that is something they can take forward without their best player. But man, I'm really excited. Hopefully, we do get some interviews out of these 2 teams as we are awaiting responses from either team. We might not get interviews from these 2 teams, but we will have interviews for a player of Timber's Army and the locals respectively following those interviews that hopefully we do get for the last game we saw. And if not, we're just going to run into those before mentioned interviews. So appreciate y'all waiting with us in the meantime. And again, I appreciate everybody being here, chat. Thank y'all for being here for both games. It was a bit of an awkward setup for me in terms of reading chat, so I do apologize not mentioning you guys throughout the stream, but it's always a pleasure when you're commentating to see chat moving. So appreciate y'all being here in what is already past midnight here in the East Coast.
Oh my gosh, I'm ready to go to bed. Oh, we got interviews to do too. All right, let's power through this. But before we get to those interviews, I believe we will have a quick little reveal of the consolation table going forth. As you saw earlier, it was the bottom two teams currently ranked in LV and EC Defiance taking on each other. There could be a quick swap of spots over here. As Emerald City Defiance, 2 games in, they're going to end up shooting all the way up to third, getting that crucial first win. KC Cauldron, sorry, you just got to play one game. You just got to play one game, and then this is a 4-way tie for first, depending on what you do. It could be a 3-way tie for second, or 4-way tie for first, whatever you want to call it at that point. Things could get real interesting after Steel Army plays KC Cauldron.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, KC Cauldron's got to play a game. They're currently the only team that has not played a game yet. So once they do, we'll have a bit of a better understanding as to where the trajectory of this consolation tournament will be going. And again, tremendous result for ECD. They really needed this if they had any fighting chance of getting into that top 2 spot. But yeah, really good to see that. I think we are going to begin with the interviews, guys. So just stick with us here. And I think, let's see, Nose from ECD, I think, is going to be our first interview debut, and he should be in here shortly.
Oh, that would be wonderful. We get one here from the previous match that you just saw here. Some consolation tourney action. Getting ECD in the commentary booth. You don't see that too often these days, so it's really good to have them up here on stage. We get ready to bring them in over here. We'll get to Timbers Army and locals in a little bit. But Nose always knows. Welcome to the booth. Congrats on the W. How you guys feeling after that?
Dude, we're elated. We're ecstatic. I can't think of any other words, but you know, it's weird. I was just telling them this is such a weird feeling for us. We don't know what to do. Usually we're just like sat drinking.
So, you know, you always can join brothers in sadness whenever it comes to, you know, after like a performance like that. I mean, especially after like you guys were starting to pull off some of the physical moves, you know, last week against us, but now it seems like that hard work is now like really showing, you know, the fruits of all that labor now, which is really awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, we were just, I know Bird just hopped off, but me, Green, and Parts were just chatting, talking about how like it really doesn't matter who's playing. We all kind of just know how to play with each other, and obviously there's like a skill ceiling that, you know, we need to break through overall. But we'll plow through that for next season, and you know, be a couple grand champs, and no big deal.
Yeah, speaking of next season, is there something from this term that like you guys can just like take going into next season? Is this just a way of just getting more practice under y'all's belt, or explain to me how y'all view this tournament and what y'all going to take for it going into the next season?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like we're about to do like the Psionics tourney right now, just to like we all have that like urge to play organized sports. Like be back in high school and have that competitive gene run through us, and like it doesn't matter if we get our ass kicked or not. It's just like fun to kind of, you know, sit forward in your seat and like try a little bit.
Yeah, hell yeah! It's always good to kind of relive those feelings that you have.
Days.
Yeah, the golden days for sure. But no, that's good to hear. And honestly, I think you know, as you get older, like you know, leagues like this, whether it's IRL sports, whether it's your Sunday League team or your Rocket League team, like these are kind of like the things that you know can kind of bring back some of those like brotherly love, or just those team atmospheres that you had during school or whatnot. So that's good to hear. I guess last question for me is again, first series win. Do you just take the momentum here and kind of see where it takes you in the tournament, or what are y'all's expectations for the rest of the consolation tournament?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's like the Sounders, man. Like defense wins championships, and right now Seattle's just riding a high, both on the soccer field, on the Rocket League field. I mean, except for ECRC, they got smoked. But Defiance over here, we're loving life. We're here for a good time. Doesn't matter if it's a long time, but you know, just we're gonna show up, we're gonna have fun, and if we don't, whatever, we'll just keep playing regular games after.
That's awesome to hear. I'm glad to see the excitement you know, show its way through beyond like some of the series we've seen so far. I know, Luis, you said the last question, so and I know you did say you're going to be in that tournament, which I believe is going to be starting right now. So I'll leave the floor to you to shout out anybody, any messages you want to say before heading off.
I just want to shout out, all Defiance, Green, Parts, Bird, Dervis. He stepped in a handful of times throughout the season, and like honestly, just like you guys and the whole like camaraderie, and the channels are always blowing up and whatnot. Like it's just a good time, and it's fun to play this stupid flying cars game and like pretend like it matters at all. But
Hell yeah,
yeah,
man.
no,
Well,
it's a good time.
well, thank you for joining us, Nose. Really appreciate it. And
Yeah.
again, congratulations on your win, and hopefully you do well in your tournament here.
I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes and 50 seconds. Let you know,
Yeah, for sure.
ready for the private match.
All right, take care.
All right, take care, guys.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Deb. It's good to hear from them. We typically don't hear from them on stream because it's tough to do interviews after you lose, and I think we can all speak for that. And so it's good to hear from ECD on the broadcast and Nose in particular. So I really appreciate them hopping on, and I think we should be ready to go with the interviews from the all important top three upper bracket game that we just had. I do believe who we getting first here, Devitt? Do we know?
I think we might be looking at Rydog first, if I recall correctly. Yeah, that should be it. We should be looking at Rydog, who should be ready at the moment. Oh, and here he is, just in time. Rydog been waiting so patiently in our interview room. Doesn't go to Game 7 for once. What are the vibes like?
Before I say anything, before I answer that question, I'm gonna shout out. I've already said it in chat a few times, but locals, man, we had a scheduling snafu yesterday, but they were super flexible and were able to postpone the match till tonight. So I want to give them the kudos and the props that they deserve, for sure. But yeah, no, we're feeling good. Honestly, Debit, I forgot your question. I'm just super stoked. We got it done in 6. I was a little nervous when they came back in games 3 and 4. Nervous in the sense of just like I think we're outplaying this team, and we need to get this done. We just need to get the wins on the board. They made really good adjustments, to be fair, but yeah, after we got that game 5 win, I felt a lot more confident that we were going to take it.
Well, Rydog, Timbers Army is a top 3 team in SGL this season. That's crazy considering the start of the season that you guys had. You guys have been on a roll the last half of the regular season, and now these first 2 playoff series against top seeds. I mean, just speak to the turnaround for this team to currently be on top 3 and maybe even potentially more than that.
Yeah, we're stoked to get top 3. I don't think we were nervous, which was crazy. I thought I would be actually the most nervous. But yeah, we're super stoked. Yeah, I just think I don't know if you could pinpoint something that like caused the turnaround. If anything, I think it maybe just has to do with just the comms in general. We're just super flowy, and we kind of perfected our game plan a little bit, which is really good. And I was talking to Nelly kind of before earlier this week and over the weekend, and I was just like, yeah, like if we can have you do your thing in the back, because he's defensive player of the year, and if nobody votes for him, it's rigged. But let me get freed up, let me kind of do my thing up front, and then Kyle will just fill in the gaps where needed. It's just looks so much better. And so yeah, he with when you have I'm gonna say the defensive player of the year in the back behind you, I feel so confident being able to go for kind of the stupid crap that I'm going for, because I know he has my back. So yeah, man, we're stoked, and top 3, man. I really still can't believe it, but love it.
Say you honestly talk about that whole like I can do the stupid stuff that I do. I feel like that only can speak a lot to the comms of what you're doing at this point. Looking back, like is the secret just like unbridled confidence? Like you guys like never step down from your game plan, even when going back. I know you mentioned briefly that you're feeling like that you were still outplaying, but were there any like lapses in judgment? Feeling that we need to change up anything at all, or was it just like, nope, game plan's the game plan, nothing else to it? We'll do it.
I think if we went to game 7, it might have felt a little bit nervous, but yeah, I truly believe that we at least outplayed them, and even the 2 games that we lost, I think all the games were like 1-goal games apart from the last one. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Like I felt more nervous of the fact that like if we, like I would have been pissed if we wouldn't have won that series playing the way we did, because I think we played so well. Yeah, the game plan was the game plan. And I told them that, especially when they took their timeout, and of course they won there's 2 games after. In between their game 3 win and game 4 win, I was just like, we're not making any changes. Like we are keeping it status quo. Like we're outplaying this team. We just need to like clean up a few things. Because I think the game when they won game 4, I think it was like that long shot that just kind of went in. I think Nelly just like flipped out of the way. He literally just said that he was lagging, and so I saw him flip for the ball and I thought he had it, and so I like cheated up, and then of course it went by him, and that's how they scored. And so like if just like stupid crap like that we're giving up, like there's no reason to change the game plan. Like the goals will come, the offense was good, so yeah, I didn't feel like we needed to change it, and yeah, we just doubled down when we went back 2-2 and finished the job.
A little bit of a part 2 of that question as well. Did you ever feel inclined to call a timeout after going 2-0 to 2-2?
I thought about it. I think if we would have lost that next game, I would have called the timeout. But no, like I said, the game plan was good. I didn't feel like we needed to. We just there were just like maybe I think game 3 was 2-1, and then I think game 4 was 1-0. So it's just like we had 3 lapses of concentration, and they turned out to be goals. And so I was like, we can clean those up in the next game. So it crossed my mind, but I didn't think we were gonna need it.
Yeah, and one thing for me that I noticed in the series, right? I don't know if you can tell me you playing in it, but I thought Piglet played tremendous. I know I put it in the chat there in the Discord, but there was a couple of passing plays that Piglet and Nelly had together that were like tremendous. And I know Piglet doesn't really get like the laudence that or the praise that like Nelly and yourself do, but yeah, just speak about Piglet, man. I thought he played tremendous.
Yeah, he is so crazy good. It's so crazy to see the improvement that he's had from even like the beginning of last season when we just like first formed to now is incredible. I think part of that is he plays the game a ton. He's been in some other leagues as well, kind of in the first part of the season, and so just I think that different experience, that different like viewpoint of how he plays, getting that feedback and everything helped him out so much. It's funny because I don't remember when this was specifically, but you can tell he got more confident, and that threw Nelly and I off guard because we're like, holy crap, like he's like hitting the ball more consistently, he's in like better spots, like he's like he has boost to do things, and that like kind of threw us off. And so it actually took like Nelly and I like an opportunity to watch back some of our games and go, okay, yeah, now that he's in these better spots, we don't need to, cover him this way. We feel confident that he can hit that ball. Like we're going to be in this other spot that's actually better because now we can trust him more. And so, yeah, he played out of his freaking mind tonight. The passing plays were crazy. You guys, I'll probably post another comms video at some point, and you guys will hear the comms of us going crazy with those passing plays. But yeah, he's freaking awesome. I'm so stoked, and I think he's like not super confident in himself just yet, but I think you can tell that part of his game is also growing. Because I just remember times where he would just be like down on himself or just like, oh man, I should hit that or whatever. And that just happens so much less now. And honestly, as like a teammate and a friend of his, like I just love that.
That's actually incredible stuff to hear out of this, because that just shows how much confidence you guys just got as a squad together. Just moving forward at this point, I'm looking at the people in the booth right now, and they're gonna play each other in winners finals here. So quick little preview of this. How are we both feeling about this whole Timbers Army El Matador 5 vs 6 going? How are we feeling about this?
I was talking to Luis. I think this was what, yesterday or the day before. I'm just happy that we made top 3 for real. Obviously we know how good EM is, and Luis can just do as some people call it flippy spinnies and just go crazy. And so yeah, that'll be interesting. But like we're confident, obviously, and like we've got nothing to lose. We're technically the lower seed. I also had EM in my bracket that I never posted. I had EM winning the whole thing. So like I would say that we're still the underdogs, and like we still have nothing to lose. And so that's I think where things get a little scary for them. But obviously their pop-up potential is freaking crazy. So yeah, should be another banger.
Yeah, and I think likewise, just from EM's perspective, yeah, looking forward to it. Again, Ride Dogs kind of rate me over the coals about this, but I was not a believer in them coming into the playoffs. My bracket is completely broken, and I think Debit, actually, I think you're the one who had them in this position, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The 5 and the 6 seed going at it for the chance to be top 2 minimum. And have that bracket favor for the finals is going to be tremendous. So yeah, I'm excited.
Well, excellent. That's all I have from me. Luis, you got anything else?
No, man. Like seriously, that's tremendous. And then I guess just the last thing for me, I thought y'all played better in this series than y'all did against Black Army. I don't know if that's like a bad take, but I think that was at least from what it looked like. From my perspective. So yeah, congratulations, and yeah, y'all are literally playing y'all's best ball at the right time of the season.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. And yeah, it feels good to be playing this good. Obviously, like we just didn't show it in the first part of the season, and now that we're like when it matters most, we're peaking, and obviously that's perfect. And yeah, we're super stoked to can keep it going, keep it rolling.
Well, awesome, man. I appreciate you joining us, Ride Dog. And again, congratulations, top 3 Timbers Army in SGL Season 8. And we'll look forward to seeing you in that next matchup versus El Matador in the upper bracket final. So appreciate you joining us, Ride Dog, and have a good night, man.
Yeah, thanks for streaming, guys. Appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
And that was Ride Dog from Timbers Army, the victorious Timbers Army. And now we are going to transition away from the winners to unfortunately our losers tonight. Mecky Ducky will be joining us from the locals. Get some questions in for him, and yeah, see how they do in the lower bracket. And really curious to talk to him on his perspective.
And I'm interested to see the locals, perspective over here, seeing what they've built up over this time period so far, and now these teams gotta go through the gauntlet. I feel like that's what this entire fight was from winners at this point. Let's just avoid the gauntlet, because losers looks even worse.
Yeah, the losers bracket, and we will show that here soon after the interviews, or the bracket period. It looks like hell down there, and speaking of down there,
Oh, no.
that's terrible. I feel bad. We have Mecky Ducky joining us from the locals. What's going on, man? Tough loss. Yeah, just kind of what are your initial thoughts in the series, and yeah.
Yeah, hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, no, it was it felt like we we were not ready for that pressure to come out. We actually had to go back to. We played them week 2. We were like, "Is this the same lineup?" Because like they were unreal. Like the pressure that they put on us, and it caused us to make a lot of double commits, and yeah, and honestly, one thing too I want to point out is just like they were 100% full faith in each other to the point where there were some touches that they would get, and I'm like, there's no way that's a pass out, like, and that their teammates that close, and like it would catch me off guard because I thought I had that slight bit of time and I would just get dusted. And yeah, no, just full credit to TA in that regard.
That is honestly one of the points that I make about Timbers Army a ton. It just looks insane how confident they play, even for what looks can be like a bad touch, at least like on first glance, or something that just doesn't look like it should go their way.
Yep.
I guess maybe just asking a bit going forward, like, was there something that like the locals could do in that moment? Because I know like games 1 and 2, they were what they were. But you take the time out, things seem to be going well at that point. Can you speak to like what happened in games 3 and 4 that allowed you like to really start getting back into this? Like we were starting to believe like, oh crap, this could be that quick turnaround that we were like expecting to see.
It was just that little bit of, I think we improved on the defense just that slight bit, even though I mean they were still going for a ton of bumps and demos, but our rotations cleaned up a bit, and then we were actually able to find just some cracks in their defense as well, you know, on rare occasions, but that's what we were focused on too, and we wanted to go for some more passing plays, but I think it's just tough in the moment when you're just trying to fight for the smallest amount of possession. But yeah, I mean, they were still incredibly tight games. Like we won 2-1 and 1-0, and so it wasn't like we figured some crazy thing out that totally turned the tide. And I mean, you also saw Game 5 was just that, also another 1-0 off of just a long shot, and that's what decided it. So that was a hell of a series, just really tight all around. It was tough to find that edge, I guess.
Yeah, and obviously for you guys now, I think you guys do go to the lower bracket, and I believe the Rebellion are going to be y'all's first opponent. What just initial thoughts on that matchup? I mean, how did that regular season series go, and kind of just, yeah, what are your thoughts on kind of the run that you guys are going to have to go on here?
Yeah, no, we 3-1 them in the regular season. I do remember in particular though they that one game they had, they just absolutely dominated us. We lost like either 3-1, 4-1, I want to say. I can't quite remember, but yeah, it was a very dominant performance from them. Just in that one game, but we took it in the other 3. So yeah, no, we're gonna have to. I'll be honest, I didn't play, like, just for me personally to reflect on. I didn't like how I played today. I didn't play aggressive enough, I think. So that's just for me. I think I'm gonna try to work on that as well, and just I think our comms were not up to how we usually comm as well. We're having a lot of double commits, but that's also because of how TA played. But you know, I think we could have also improved on that front. But we'll be ready for Rebellion.
That's awesome to hear. Know that you're ready to face that gauntlet, because that can be a really tough test. I think you guys really will bounce back well. You've shown that resilience, you know, all this time. I want to ask real briefly on this one. Are we going full Batmobile this time around? Are we
I
like?
know. I can't make up my mind. I don't know.
One of the toughest decisions I know.
Like after I lost or we lost to Black Army, I was like, I want to try the Dominus again, and yeah, I was just like, I was not used to that slight. It's a bit thicker, you know, so like I just wasn't getting the touches right, just because I've probably put in like, I mean, I don't play that much, but I've probably put in like a good 40 hours on Batmobile at this point continuously, so yeah, it's gonna take a bit to switch back. So I think I'll just stay Batmobile for this time. That I'm wondering how much of that played a part in the 2 wins, but nah. Especially, I think Nelly was like, "It's Batman." Yeah, that was funny.
See that?
Yeah, I mean, that's about all I have. I mean, again, it's tough loss, and I think like Devitt said, I believe in you guys' bounce back, and man, looking at the lower bracket now, it's the Rebellion, ECRC, Black Army, and you guys. It's a gauntlet for sure, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing how you guys bounce back, and man, I really have no doubt that you guys will.
Yeah, no, and I said this in I think one of the like last regular season matches. I was like, the playoffs is always like, who's that informed team that's just carrying it into the last couple of weeks, and TA, man, no joke. Like, Luis, I got a question for you, man. How do you feel?
I mean, we're ready, you know. I mean, I'm always gonna back my team, you know. I think we're ready,
Of course.
but right now, I don't know, bro. The Cinderella juice is crazy. Like, it's the March Madness effect. Feels like with TA, like it's like some Butler shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm
This is like
excited. I'm excited
Dortmund
to play.
last season. Like, yeah, just
No,
any
yeah,
example.
yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a tremendous series, and yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah. I mean, want to say full credit to TA. They incredible. They were incredible. So
That's awesome. Like we said, definitely believe in you guys going forward. Uh, Honestly, this is just an entire slugfest. It's just gotta go down there. But I know you guys are built for this. I know we'll have a good matchup out of there. I think that's gonna do it for us over here. Mecky Ducky, anything else before let you go for the evening?
yeah, I mean, assuming, of course, I got back my team too. Assuming we beat Rebellion, I want to face ECRC again. Just want to face them again because we played them very early on as well. So just want to see how they've changed, and think that would be another good match as well.
I do believe so as well. Number one, number two, and losers. I can see it.
Yeah, that'd be a sick losers match. The 1 versus 2 seed, winner goes home. That'd be sick. I'm down for that too. But yeah, I think it's gonna wrap it up for us. Really appreciate you hopping on, Mecky Ducky, and I'll just kind of leave you the floor, man.
No, yeah, that's all. That's all I had to say. Thank you guys for streaming. It's a lot of work, so thank you guys for taking time out of your day to do that.
Oh yeah, man, really appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we do it for the love of the game, man, the love of the league. So,
Of course,
um,
of course.
so yeah, well, awesome, man. We'll talk to you soon, and appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah. See you.
And there goes Mecky Ducky, y'all. The locals talisman coming in after a heartbreaking defeat here tonight. And I think, Debbie, I think we do have the bracket all ready and available to show the audience.
Yeah, I think we're all set to go. Got a transition going over here on your screen. And oh baby, this looks like my predicted bracket so far. Look at that. That's how we do things over here. With those results tonight, we talked about before, El Matador versus Timbers Army. 1v3 seed and losers, ECRC and Black Army, the locals and Rebellion. Oh man, I know we've gone through 2 rounds so far, but I feel like we're only just getting started.
Yeah, I think I'm just super excited to watch these lower round games. All these elimination games. The nerves are even they're elevated, right? It's an elimination game, and honestly, all 4 teams down there realistically could be teams that we see in the upper bracket. So for them to be elimination games, Deb, I think it's gonna be really fun to watch. And then yeah, I really just can't wait for us to finish this bracket and see who runs the gauntlet.
Yeah, it's even hard to sort of like run some predictions right now because that's tough to do. It's tough to pull out. I'm honestly about to just let the action speak for itself at this point because I think what we've seen so far, it's just been straight entertainment at this point. So chat, I may leave you with that one. Luis, any other thoughts on this bracket so far?
Well, you say you're not gonna do any predictions, but so far I think you're pretty spot on. No,
Pretty
I think
spot on, but you
I
know,
think you've done a pretty good job. It seems like chaos to everybody else, but to you, I mean, hey, you saw this coming. So, whatever you're drinking, I mean, yeah, keep drinking that shit. You know what I mean? So,
apparently so.
um,
I hate to
but
say
yeah,
it, but yeah, I know I said I believe in the locals, but my original bracket had the Rebellion beating them, so I apologize.
yeah, I think my bracket had the TA not winning a single series in the playoffs. And I think you had the locals not winning a single series. So, so far it seems like a bad omen for the locals, given how correct your bracket has been. So, so I'm looking forward to seeing if the debit prediction juice is flowing for the rest of the tournament. But that's about it for me, Debit. Really enjoyed tonight's games. I really appreciate all of chat being here. I appreciate you being here, Debit. Thank you, Maz, for streaming. And yeah, Debit, I'll let you close us out.
Yeah, appreciate you coming in here a little bit last minute. Had to rush back here. Shower, be prepared to talk about games for all this time. Be ready to give you guys performance. Try to bring the energy as best we can, and the teams definitely showcase that. They showed what SGL is about. They've shown, the high-flying skill, the camaraderie, the teamwork. That's just what we all got going on here at SGL. So thank you for sticking with us through it all. We're only so many weeks through. We still got a whole, basically, other month to get through. So keep riding with us. We still got more streams coming. We got so much more action to get through. But for now, we're going to be signing off. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next time.